I'm live. Hello, everybody. G'day. Just let me know if you're in. And now I haven't done this live on the laptop for a long time, so I'm kind of flicking my head around to see where the controls are. I don't think Michelle's going to take care of the chat for me. Good day. How is everybody? Look, we've got these strawberries, these beautiful strawberries here. Photo, can you see them? Old school strawberries. You know, they actually smell, oh, they smell so delicious. And I wanted to do a video. We've been to a Korean supermarket and done a snack haul. I might share a few of them. I'm not going to eat them today, by the way. We're not eating them, but I might talk about them. But the strawberries aren't going to last, so I thought we'd try a few strawberries, have a little chat about strawberries. You know, is it Angeli?
No, Angel Lixie.
Oh, Angel Lixie. G'day. How are you? So we're going to have a little talk about some of these snacks. I mean, for instance, look, in Korea they've got these blueberry pockies. Has anyone got those? Where you are? We're actually, Michelle and I are going to do a snack taste. We've also filmed going around the supermarket in Korea, in South Korea. So we sort of filmed going around the supermarket. We always have good fun doing those. And the snacks are going to last, but the strawberries are not. And they smell so good. Just old school strawberries. You haven't seen it yet because I think actually I haven't. I've edited and put up the video. We're walking around the first day in Busan in South Korea, and there's a lot of strawberries for sale because it must be what do you think, Michelle? It's like strawberry season or something.
So, yeah.
So there's heaps and heaps of strawberries for sale, and big punnets, big trays of strawberries, much more than Michelle and I can eat in one sitting. To be fair. And we bought a whole load of them, and I've got a few left over. Wow, not a few. I've got a big pile left over.
So Linda Russell says, "Hi, Stephen, Michelle. Welcome to Korea. Hope you enjoy it. Are you staying in Seoul, or are you going to travel Korea?" No,
we're not. We're not even going to Seoul, Linda. We're actually only going to be a short time in Busan, which is south of South Korea. And the reason we've come to Busan is because we're actually heading to Japan, and there's a 3-hour boat journey between Busan and Japan. Now, having said that, I'm loving Korea. I think Korea is fantastic, better than I had imagined. So we are thinking of returning to Korea and going to Seoul and doing some of the other places. But at the moment, we're just going to be in Busan, which is more precisely Haeundae.
Yeah.
Haeundae. Which is a name of the town I get wrong over and over again, by the way.
Linda says, "I live 1.5 hours north of Busan. I would love to see you guys back here again."
All right. So Linda, which Linda is that? Linda Russell. Oh, lucky you, Linda. What a great place, isn't it? The weather's starting to pick up. We're heading to Japan because we want to see the actual the Japanese cherry blossom. What do they call it? Sakura?
Yes.
So we want to check out and do some cherry blossom videos and get some Japanese food. But I really think I wish we'd chosen to stay a bit longer in Korea. Now, Michelle, my picture's really sort of stuttery. Is it actually stuttery online as well? Can anyone just when I lift my cup up? Is it?
Yeah, it's flickering every so often.
Okay, so I wonder why that is. Could that be because the fans? Put them back on auto. Now the problem is, if I put these fans on, is it going to pick up on the video? So Linda, I didn't know. Whereabouts are you? Are you towards Seoul?
She said you're staying in a place called Haeundae.
Haeundae. I have tried several times to perfect the saying of Haeundae, and I think I'm pretty close. I mean, I keep getting into trouble because I pronounce it like Hyundai. the car manufacturer. And even if I get it like almost close, the Koreans that I speak to look at me as if, what on earth are you talking about? You know, they kind of you know, you've got to be pretty spot on, and my pronunciation is really poor. Well, Linda, if you're in Korea, tell me, we picked these up. These are like chocolate lollies. What are they about? Are they Korean? I'm really looking forward to trying some of this stuff, by the way. But Michelle and I are going to sit and film the Korean snacks. We may actually take these Korean snacks to a Japanese garden, and there's a park that's probably going to be full blossom in cherry blossom. So we might actually try our Korean snacks in Japan. But we've got a video that I'm working on that's actually going around the supermarket in Busan, and it'll show you actually picking up all these great snacks. I mean, look at these honey-coated almonds. See, I can read Korean. Honey-coated almonds.
Didn't swallow go babies as I'm watching from South Africa. I always try to make recipes and my family is loving them.
Oh, thanks.
And Linda says, I live in Jinju, it's a small city. Koreans always have trouble with foreigners speaking in Korean. Yeah.
And we've also, I've got a video I'm just working on for tomorrow, Linda, and it'll show you that they can be quite reserved, the Koreans. So for example, the first day we were here, we just went outside, we're walking down the market, and I'm looking at people and smiling at them. And I think they must have thought I was some sort of idiot, because none of them were smiling back at me. And as I was making the video, I sort of made a comment that none of them were smiling, even though I was staring right at them and sort of saying, hello. They were looking straight through me. And about 30 seconds later, one lady sat in a market store, was looking over at me and going, hello, and she's waving. So it's not everybody, but there is a certain reservedness I've noticed in the Koreans. It feels a little bit unfriendly, I guess, but actually once we've actually talked to them, they've been really, really friendly. So it's not a case of unfriendliness. It's just a more reserved nature. I mean, I'm loving Korea. I think Korea is a great place. I think we must go back. It's hard to say because we've also been talking about going to Taiwan, and we've been talking about going to a couple of other places in the area. But it's complicated because, or it's made more complicated by flights and accommodation costs. This part of the world, Japan and Korea, has been a little more expensive than we used to. So accommodation's a little more expensive, eating out's a little more expensive. Did you see the photograph, by the way? Linda, you might have seen these. What are they? What's this about? Digit. When I was in the supermarket, I thought these were digestive biscuits, and I went to pick them up. I thought, oh, digestive's great, but they're actually not. They're like a doctor-used digits, but they are a digestive biscuit. I mean, as far as I can see, they look, for all intents and purposes, just like a regular McVitie's digestive biscuit, and they're packaged kind of similar. Digit biscuits.
Darren Burke says, hi, Stephen Michelle from Cape Town. So we've got two in from South Africa.
Oh, two from Darren was in from South Africa, and Tinsawalo was in from South Africa as well. Sorry, I haven't got the phone on today. I'm using the laptop, and I actually find it harder to read the comments.
And Linda says, I've been in Korea for 10 years. Koreans are very reserved typically, but if you talk to English-friendly people, you'll be fine.
Right. There's been loads of really lovely encounters. I tell you what, Linda, we went for excuse me, I'm in the air, back in the air from this cold weather outside into this warm air conditioning of a room, and it's made my nose sort of run because it's been cold. The weather has been a lot colder than we're used to, which is really quite refreshing. But everybody's got colds. Everybody's wearing masks. Everyone's walking around with this sort of like doctor's masks on, which is something again that you see a lot with Asians in Australia walking around in Melbourne with a mask on, but very rarely. But of course in Korea, there's heaps of people walking around in sort of surgical masks. And I'm not 100% sure. I've not asked, so I haven't been sort of rude and said, why do you wear the mask? But is it to do with the fact they don't want to catch colds off of people, or do they have colds and they don't want to pass them on, or is it just to do with the pollution? Because if it's to do with the pollution, I don't know what they've got to worry about, because I found Busan, really, the air very fresh and very clean. Now, I can't read the comments at all, Michelle. They're about 1,000 miles from me, so I can't. Like little tiny ants in the background.
I'm just waiting for a gap. So Linda says the digit is a digestive, just by a different name.
By a very similar name to. Hey, let me get Michelle to open these. Go on, you read them. Read some questions out,
Okay,
Michelle.
and Leo Tripton says, "Good day, Steve and Michelle from Bournemouth in the UK. You are truly my favourite YouTubers."
Oh, thank you.
And Angel Lixie says they use masks because of the yellow dust.
The yellow dust.
Mm.
It seems so clean. Now, I can't see the comments you're reading, so is it because they're not coming up?
They're probably not done up. Where are you up to then?
So, yeah, I hear a lot of people in this region saying, okay, the dust is coming from China, or there's a lot of pollution coming from China. But trust me, if you've been going around sort of like parts of Southeast Asia where Michelle and I go, this air is so much fresher and cleaner. And I quite often see people sat in cars with the masks on as well, which just surprised me. I'm going to open these because I really fancy one. I've got a coffee here. I've got my strawberries. I'm not opening the other snacks. I will show you some of them. Then we're going to do a complete separate video of Michelle and I tasting the snacks, so it's going to be a bit of fun. But I'll ask Michelle to open that packet without damaging it, so when I do the actual live show.
And Linda says masks are worn typically for illness prevention. Some will have a cold, some will want to stay for cold, and others because of dust in the air. Yeah,
I figured, well, that covers all the eventualities then, Linda. That covers them all, because I thought to myself, if they're doing it to stop spreading their own colds, that's a nice and respectful thing to do. If they're doing it because they're afraid of catching colds, that seems like a little bit, you've got to strengthen your immune system up. And, we can't really wrap everybody up in cotton wool. I don't agree with that. I think you've got to catch the odd cold and things. Otherwise, you end up with a very, very weak immune system. And we saw that living in parts of Asia, living in Hong Kong for many years. A lot of sicknesses come from not building up a strength of immunity, drinking too much distilled water and the likes.
And now, Sally Highfield says hi, Steve.
Hey, Sally, how are you?
Or HC.
We know what you meant, Sally.
I do.
Pocky sticks, blueberry. I mean, that's a very American style flavor. And when I saw them, I thought, and they've got, if you look really closely, and pocky sticks are quite good generally because they do often look like the packet. So this has got like little blueberry. I'm not opening them. We're going to do them. But I tell you what I am going to do. See these strawberries? Linda, the strawberries are all in season, or they're coming to the end of the season, apparently, that I was told. Oh, thank you, Michelle. She's opened the my Digit biscuit. So let's just take one of these out. I'm bouncing from strawberries to cookies.
Endolixie says, or maybe because of the pollen allergies.
Maybe, but they're worn so extensively. Now look at that. That looks just like a digestive biscuit. Huh? Just like a digestive. It doesn't smell the same though. I bet you this is a little bit like that other cookie that we had that time where the chocolate is a bit caroby. Do you mind if I dunk, everybody? I love dunking digestives. I'm going to dunk it in my coffee. Oh, it doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit. Look, I can only get the first. So what do? You bite the corner off, the bit that went in the coffee. Okay. No, they're not as oatmeal-y as a digestive. They're a little bit more closer to a regular cookie or biscuit. They haven't got the digestive. They haven't got as much grain in. They look very similar. They're good though. I've got no problem with those. They're not as good as digestives, Linda. I don't know where you're from, Linda. If you're from the UK, you'll know what I mean. If you're from the US or another part of the world, you probably won't. Yum. Oh, I'm so hungry now, Michelle. I've just realised.
Plenty of strawberries.
Any questions that you want to read out, Michelle?
No, I think you're coming yet.
Okay.
No, I'm up to date.
Now, here's another one. This is like a massive Yakult. Look at the size of it. We were given these quite often when we went out for a meal. Like the other day, we were in having a the beef stew.
Oh yes.
Can you look it up for me, Michelle? Make sure I get the. Linda will probably tell me. The beef stew that's done in the stock with the rice and everything. Michelle will Google it, and then she'll say it. As soon as she says the word. So they quite often give you like a little version of a sort of Yakult, a little digestive drink, which is quite nice. The other thing that we had to get when we were in the supermarket, and I think it's probably in the refrigerator, is it? The oh no, it's here. It's a little bit of kimchi. Kimchi is great. I think one of the things bulgogi. We went out. We filmed this. We went for a bulgogi. I know I've got the word wrong, but this is basically they do it in pork bones. They do it in beef, but they make a stew, a really good stock, a broth, for want of another word. And they serve this with chunks of really tender meat that just falls, that just completely crumbles apart. And they'll serve it with noodles, or they'll serve it with rice. And I had it with rice, but we've actually filmed it, so I'll show you the video of that shortly. It'll be in the next sort of week or 10 days or so. We'll try to get that edited.
But that's where we had the Yakult.
That's where we had a tiny version of this, and the lady was really grumpy. She was really grumpy. She was like, I thought she was telling us to clear off. When we first arrived there, I thought she was telling us to get out, but she wasn't. She was sort of ushering us in like this. I think in Korea, this sort of motion, which can look a little bit like our motion for bugger off, you know, it was like this, and I thought she was telling us to leave, but because she had a really grumpy face on her as well, like a real sort of like, what are you doing here? And all the other ladies were smiling and laughing around her, so we figured that she meant come in. So we went in, and we'd been looking for quite some time for a good bulgogi, and we found this place. One of the locals on the street said to her, "It's very good in there." It was actually a girl in one of the little like a telephone shop, and she said, "Oh, it's really good. The bulgogi here is really good." So we went in, and
there's a few people saying about the digestive biscuits. I'm just waiting for you to say that.
Sorry, no, let me just quickly finish. So we got in there, and the lady's like going like this, you know, and I thought she's saying, you know, go away, we're closed. But after some sort of confusion, we realized that she was beckoning us in, and had this delicious broth with beef, and we filmed it all. But it was a kind of an odd experience, because hopefully, I'm talking about it, I haven't looked at the edits yet to see how it works, but hopefully it all comes out good. So the other thing that's in season, or coming to the end of the season, are these beautiful strawberries. You can see that in the video tomorrow that I'm working on for tomorrow, they sell these gorgeous strawberries. Can you see them there? And they smell just like old style. In Australia at the moment, when you buy strawberries in the supermarket, they've got no flavour. But these ones are delicious. Look. Oh, they're sweet, like not too sweet, but they've got a delicious sort of strawberry essence or smell to them. It's great.
While you're munching on that, go back to the digestives. Linda says, I think the Digit uses a whole wheat flour instead of an oatmeal. I'm from New Zealand and know what a digestive is, but it's been a while since I had one.
Yeah, the Digit I've just tried one. I'll do one without dunking, only to be polite. The biscuit is basically a wheat flour. You can tell it's similar to a Marie biscuit. The crumb inside, you can probably just about see. It's got very little texture in it. And straight away, if I...
Angel Lixie said it's one of my favourite cookies. I usually make tiramisu with it.
Yeah, it would make good tiramisu, but it's got a little bit... I mean, they've qualified it as a digestive by putting some whole grain flour in there, maybe. Some whole grains in there of some sort. But if you were to take the chocolate off there, you're closer to a Marie biscuit or a rich tea biscuit than you are a digestive. So
Leo Trip to Mind said, yes, I know what you mean, but I can no longer eat them as I'm vegan.
Vegan? These?
Yes, which are still on the biscuits. I've got a lot of comments about the biscuits.
Why would these not be vegan? I'm trying to think. No, chocolate's just cocoa butter and cocoa. Chocolate can be vegan. The biscuit itself can be made egg-free, so it can be vegan. I can't see any reason why. I mean, this may not be vegan, but I can't see any reason why you can't make this product a better version if you wanted to make it at home. And if you check out my digestive biscuit video and my chocolate hobnob video, you could adapt it to be vegan very easily.
Garen says the biscuits aid digestion owing to the presence of fibre and baking soda in them. They are low in saturated fats or calories. They provide daily allowance of iron, which is good for your blood.
That's right. The original digestive biscuit was designed by a doctor in the 1930s, I think, and I think the concept was it was for to help the digestive system, and then it's just become a really popular cookie or biscuit.
So Sunny Sarah Star says, "Love you, Steve."
Love you too, guys.
And James06 says, "I love your videos, Steve." And Leo and Sally are all agreeing.
You know what I'm really looking forward to trying in the taste test? So when you see the taste test video, I'm looking forward. I love almonds. These feel nice and crunchy. They've got a picture, look, on the back there of the little melted butter. Well, not butter, it's butter with honey dripping over the top of it, a little bee, and some almonds. I can't open them. No, I can't open them. And then Michelle and I have got a chocolate. These appeal to us in this. We don't know if half this stuff is Korean, by the way. We went in there blind again. So these are like little chocolate lollipops. A boy and a girl. So that'll be one for Michelle and I to try in the taste test. I got these Korean snacks. They are like a sort of shrimp or a squid with nuts. I'm not going to say too much about them because we're going to have to film this again. There's a few other little snacks here. I won't go through them all. Oh yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. Had to get some seaweed because seaweed is so much a part of the Korean diet, and it is really quite delicious. A lot of the seaweeds here. So we've gone with this. It's a seaweed with some sort of coating. I'm not going to go into it too much detail, but it's a slightly more expensive upmarket seaweed, which we're going to be trying. I got some really cool. I'm not going to show you them just now. These are like a lemon saltine cracker, and hopefully they're not like the ones we had in Indonesia that had no lemon in them at all. And I also got these. They look a little bit like a puff pastry. Looking at the text, I'm not sure if that's upside down or not. I think that's the right way up. So they're like a pastry cracker, and I think they'll be with either sesame or a sweet honey coating on them as well. So I'm quite looking forward to those. We've got some other little snacks as well, and
going back to the strawberries, Alex Moran said, "Did you wash the strawberries? You aren't concerned about them being fertilized with night waste."
Do you know what? I didn't wash the strawberries. Michelle, we didn't wash the strawberries. I didn't. What are they going to be fertilized with?
Night waste.
Night waste. No, I didn't wash the strawberries. However, that's probably a little bit silly of me. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll wash one. I'll have one night waste free. So, okay. So this one's washed. This one is mucky. Oh man, it's so sweet. That's the washed one. Tastes a little bit wet. Should have wrung it out first. This is the oh, they're both good. That one's better actually. I don't know why. It was nothing to do with the rinsing. I didn't wash them, and probably you should. I mean, if you we had a big tray of strawberries. I don't know what the policy is in. Look, I've got a pretty strong constitution. I think I can fight off most stuff, and I'm not too worried. You know, when I used to travel and work in China, and they always used to say, you know, all the vegetables you had to wash them because they were fertilized with human waste and things. And there is an element you do have to be cautious. And now you got me worried.
Well, Mia Trip to Mind says, just want to say you really are the most amazing, kind and beautiful people I have never met. And thank you for sharing the love.
Well, thank you. I don't know. We're just normal people.
Ruby Silver says, hey, Steve and Michelle.
Hey, Ruby.
And Darren says, local water probably has more toxins in than the unwashed one.
Probably. I'll probably get sick from the one I've washed. I've just taken the stalks off.
Oh, that's all right then.
I've just taken the stalks off. But to be honest, I'm not going to worry about it. And thank you for the heads up. And I will actually, we've got still about 15 or 20 of these left. I will give them a quick rinse through. But I was setting up doing this live stream and just thought we'd come. Oh, by the way, it's a completely different time. So Sunny, there's lots of new people in there. James 06, Mia Trip to Mind, Sally's in, Alex, Ruby's in, as we said. Darren Burke. Hello everybody. So washed. Nice.
Matches your heart on your t-shirt.
Matches a heart on my t-shirt, as Michelle just said. About the same size. These aren't the big strawberries either. These are sort of the medium size. You paid slightly more. There's a big, like a tray of these strawberries. I've only got maybe about half a dozen of them left here. Michelle's got a few she was munching on. You get a big tray of strawberries, probably about 500 grams, maybe, or a kilo even. Big tray of strawberries for around about $6 Australian, which is probably only about $4.50 maybe US. And they are the most delicious strawberries. I mean, they were about between 5,000 and 7,000 won. So at first, when you see that, you think, well, that's a lot of money, but it isn't that bad actually. You know, it messes with your head seeing multiple thousands of currencies. So you tend to sort of think, oh, but once you get your head around it and you think, well, that's a lot of strawberries for $4.50 US, about $6. And then strawberries are in season as well in Australia at the moment. My sister sent me a picture of her strawberries. She bought, like about 6 kilos of strawberries in Australia. And they're good. They're in season at the moment. And she paid about, how much did she pay? $5 or $10? Or, yeah. So we've got strawberries in Australia at the moment as well, and they're not bad. They're in season. Not the one, actually the ones from the supermarket. Sorry guys, if you're watching from Australia, but the ones in Woolies and Coles, they never seem to taste good. But if you go to the greengrocers and you get them straight from the local farms, they can be delicious, just as delicious as these, and actually cheaper at the moment. But still, these are really good strawberries.
Whitney Lamb Says, hey guys, lovely videos.
Hi, Brittany. How are you? So we will be doing there'll be a video up tomorrow. I'm currently still working on it. It's a sort of a first look at the first 24 hours that we were in Busan, and we're just getting out on the streets and having a little show around. I've got a bit of a problem with it because it didn't end. I don't think I actually filmed an ending, and I've been trying to go through all my files to find an ending to it. So I'm going to have to work on that. Otherwise, that would have been up already. We also were thinking, would you like me to go to Mackie D's and try the McDonald's? I'm not a big McDonald's fan, I have to say. I'm not. I probably would be out there with a placard, sort of like trying to get Mackie D's out of the system if I could, because I don't think that sort of fast food and junk's done the world a lot of good, but it is quite interesting when you travel around the world to see the different types of McDonald's or different types of fast foods. And they've got like a bulgogi burger or something, haven't they, here? Or, it's an unusual burger. So would you like to see that? I'm happy to go and film it, and Michelle and I give that a try.
Brittany says, do you guys plan out your journey before getting to a new place, or do you just wing it once you get there?
We wing it, Brittany.
We're winging it.
We wing it. We actually we do a little planning. We always try to get somewhere to stay when we arrive, and we always try to get somewhere for at least 3 or 4 days when we arrive, just in case it proves hard to find a place. And as it happens, we picked a good place here in Busan. It's been like I'll do a little video about it so you can see exactly where we're staying. But yes, no, we do tend to just roll. The problem is we've been traveling for so long now, we can't really plan, because if we try to plan ahead, and we don't plan ahead anyway, I'm making excuses here, but if we plan ahead, we've got to plan till December, and we can't do that. It's just too much work. So we tend to just sort of start to think about each country as we arrive. So we were only really thinking about South Korea, and actually we only 100% decided we were going to South Korea maybe a couple of weeks before we left Bali, Indonesia. And then once we've decided that's where we want to go, then we start putting a little bit of research in. But the initial research is all about trying to find a place to stay and which location we can get to, because I should try and share a bit more information about how we travel and work out the best deals and things. But you can, because of our flexibility, we don't sort of have, it's the reason we're not in Seoul, by the way, and we're in Busan, is, well, two or three reasons. Firstly, by coming to Busan, we actually get to experience South Korea, and we have to be in Japan for the cherry blossom season. So, and there's actually a ferry that goes from Busan to Japan, and it's not expensive. Well, it's, everything's cost. It's about $60-70 to get across. And I'm a little over flying. I have no problem with flying, but if I can stay out of the air, it's just the whole airport experience and getting on the planes is just an absolute pain. So if I could possibly do so, I would never fly again. But you have to. So we decided to come to South Korea because we could get to Japan without flying. And we wanted a bit of time in South Korea before we went to Japan so we could experience that as a country. Having said that, I love South Korea and I think we should spend more time here, but it's going to be, we don't know. We'll have to work it out. Like Linda was saying, we should go further into Korea, maybe up to Seoul. Everybody goes to Seoul. I don't think many people have even heard of Busan. I know you will have done, Linda, but trust me, I don't know anybody that's really even heard of Busan. Never mind Hyundai. But the beauty of this sort of town is that it's, I think, a little more friendly, a little easier to explore. So no, did I rant on long enough about that?
Angel Dixie said you should try Mum's Touch. It's a Korean burger shop. The chicken burger is delicious.
Yes, we've I've not seen that one. We are trying also
the Korean style toast.
Okay. So we've got quite a few things on our list to try, and we've only got a short time in Korea. Oh, there is a donut shop near me. Hey, Linda, do you have these? I don't know if Linda's still there. Do you have these cheese and honey donuts where you are, or is that something just from where we are? So they got these cheese and honey donuts. I'll do a video and show you how they're made. You could make them yourself. They're doable, but they're delicious. So you got that saltiness of cheese and the sweetness of honey all in a donut. So is everyone quieting down?
Yeah.
Listen to me natter. So yes, we don't particularly plan. We don't even know where we'll be going after Japan, except for we are wanting to spend the cherry blossom season and see some of the beautiful cherry blossom. As it happens, it's the highest tourist season for Japan, so everything's going to be crazy expensive, on top of the fact that Japan's expensive generally. So I don't know how long we'll be able to spend in Japan, and after that we don't know. I might head to Seoul. We might end up going to Taiwan. We're not sure. You guys can have your say. We might be affected. We're certainly affected by people that we meet on the road who say to us, you know, this is good. The only reason we're considering going to Taiwan is because of two lovely ladies that we met, and actually a few people we've met, but two ladies we met in Indonesia, in Bali, who said we should go there.
Ruby Slipper says, I vote yes to McDonald's if it isn't too late. Lol, bathroom break. But Ruby, you're the only one who voted.
Ruby, if you say so, we'll do it. So yeah, I just thought it might be interesting to share McDonald's from different places in the world, because actually I've realized as we've traveled, we tend to avoid McDonald's. And to be honest, if I've been to McDonald's twice in the last sort of 5 years, I'd be surprised. But I do often notice that they've got some kind of cool things. You look at them and think, oh, that's interesting, a bulgogi burger. What's that going to be like? Is it going to be, because generally I'm not a big fan of Mackie D's, and
but they are everywhere.
But they are everywhere. So we'll anyone else think we should?
Everyone's keeping quiet.
Everyone's keeping stum. So what else? We went to the rice. We went out and we had a rice dish, another Korean rice dish, and this is hilarious. I'd probably share it with you because you'll see the video later on. But we basically, it's really hard. Linda, there's not a lot of people who speak English in Korea. It's really difficult. So we're having to learn little tiny bits of Korean. You have to, just to get by. But when we get to the restaurants and we start talking to them, it's like nothing. So we went to one restaurant and a young lad spoke, and we're filming. So the young lad spoke a little bit of English, and between our sort of pidgin Korean and his English, he got us to understand that one of us wanted, Michelle wanted a less spicy dish, and I wanted a really quite spicy. I fancied something a little bit hot and spicy. So I said, okay, I'll go with the hot and spicy. Michelle, go with the thing. And it was through his recommendation, by the way. It wasn't, we weren't sort of, you know, being pernickety. We'd have eaten anything. And we both eat much the same, as indeed we ended up doing so. So when they came with the dish, he put it down on the table in front of me, and I'm looking. It's just a big pile of one meal, and I thought, well, that's nice. It's a nice big meal. Then I'm waiting for the second dish to come, and nothing's coming. And then I sort of asked him, "Where's the other one?" And he said, "Oh, we've just put it all together in the same dish." And I looked and I thought, this can't be right, because we just spent ages saying we want one dish. And I thought, okay, well, maybe they've sort of put it in the dish but divided it into sort of two halves. So one sort of like that. No, they just mixed it all together. They just mixed both dishes together in a big sort of pile, popped it on the table. So it was hilarious because I thought, well, how is Michelle going to have a milder dish than me? Because the whole thing was just one level. So that's kind of weird, kind of strange.
So Brittany says, think it would be fun to see the McDonald's. And Alex Moran says, McDonald's in Asia, great place to meet locals interested in speaking English. Yes,
true. That is true. A lot of staff in a lot of restaurants do, because they're in that industry, often do speak quite good English. Apart from the old battle axe that served us bulgogi. Was it bulgogi? Bulgogi, yes. I probably got it wrong, but it was a beef stew, and I do call her an old battle axe because she in the kindest possible way. I call her an old battle axe because she was. I don't think I got a film clip of her, but if you can imagine, she looked like she was about 110, and she was sort of hunched over, and sort of really sort of like hunched over, and she just had the biggest scowl on her face, like. It was something out like 40 Towers, really. It's like even all the other customers were laughing because the way she was shouting at us. She kept shouting at me when I got up to go and see whether or not I had to go and order at the thing. She shouted at me. She's like, "Go and sit down." Something like that. And all the other customers are looking up and sort of laughing, sniggering. It was like being in school. It's like she was chastising me. Funny.
So Mia says, off out now, take care, and bye for now. Love to you both.
Bye, Mia. Take care. So I just wanted to, I'm probably not going to stay on a lot longer. We just thought we would try a different time, because we're often on in our morning time, and it's evening time now, so it's getting late for us. And I thought I'd just have a little chat with you. We've got a video going around a Korean supermarket. So they let us in. We've had a little, surreptitious sort of filming inside the supermarket. Picked up these great snacks. We're going to do a video on taste testing these snacks very shortly. I've obviously already done the digestive biscuits, but I'll do them again in the video anyway. Or will I? Yeah, no, I will do them again in the video. Kind of lost the surprise. That's why I'm not going to try any of these snacks now, because if I eat them now, it'll be boring for you when you see the taste test video.
So Darren says McDonald's open 24 hours. Your local time is 21:34. Correct. Ruby Slipper says, glad to see your adventure. Be safe and enjoy. And Alex says McDonald's also got a place to meet others, as everyone knows where the McDonald's are, and hygiene practices generally pretty good. So good meal before long bus or plane ride, as you know, it's safe.
Yeah, I'm with you on some of that. I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, and it's a bit hypocritical of me to go in there really and do. I said to Michelle, should we go and film in there? And I thought, well, I've always been a little bit sort of anti McDonald's. I don't like the concept of a sort of vanilla sort of food. And I know that it's horses for courses, but McDonald's in Australia is not cheap. I mean, you're paying sort of like $10 for a meal, and you can have really, really, really good quality food in Australia for $10. So if you end up going out with a family, that can be like $50. You can feed a family for a week for $50, good food. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit anti McDonald's, but I know everybody likes it. And it's probably quite a good sort of yardstick to go and see whether or not, because when I used to live in Hong Kong, there was a McDonald's on every corner of every street in Hong Kong. We had more McDonald's per square foot than I think any other city in the world. And I think Hong Kong had the top of the top 10 busy McDonald's in the world. I think 7 of them were in Hong Kong. They used to be so busy, and they were cheap as well. But in Australia, they weren't so cheap. Anyway, so any quick questions before we go?
Alex says, agreed, only talking about on foreign soil, so I agree with what you're saying about McDonald's. And Ruby says, it's interesting to see the difference, but not the tastiest food. No.
I'm such a snob, aren't I? But anyway, I will give it a go, because if nothing else, I want to try the bulgogi burger. I'll probably go in and say, can I have a bulgogi burger? And they'll look at me like, huh? All right, love to you all. Michelle and I just wanted to pop on, say hello. Video up tomorrow, probably about less than 12 hours from now. There'll be a video up. I'm working on it. Still haven't quite finished it. I'm really struggling to keep up with the edits, but I am doing so. So we are getting a video up every second day, 100%. I'm staying on schedule, and we are getting occasionally videos up almost every day. So yeah, love to you all. Share the love. Be good. Have you been in yet? Do you want to come and say hello?
I got to come in.
Yeah, come and say hello. Come and say goodbye to everyone. Oh, and I'm getting, look, you see how long my hair's getting?
He needs a haircut.
I need a haircut. So I'm going to have to get a haircut, though. It's not going to be as cheap as it was in Indonesia. So love to you all.
I can't
from Holland, Bianca from Holland.
Oh, hi, Bianca's just come in then.
Good night from Brittany.
Good night, everybody. I'll go and check what's there.
Yeah, Michelle, check it out. The #1 haircut. That's about, you know, I've not got a lot of hair there, Darren, but it does look a bit smarter when it's all nicely cut. And the Indonesian haircut is wearing off. And, you know, good night.
Everyone just saying good night.
Love you all. Take care. See you shortly. Look forward to me trying blueberry pocky sticks. Oh, Tropic Lush. Love to you. Take care. Gotta go. I haven't got to go, but we are going to go. Can you just watch it again, Tropic, and I'll watch the comments back, and you can, if you say anything, I'll answer you. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.